All right, welcome to episode 6 of the Web3 podcast. This is Taiki with my co-host Spencer, and in this episode we'll be talking about the markets. Bitcoin 60K, pretty sick. We'll be going over the projects that we're bullish on: Woo, Parsiq, and Solana, and we'll be ending it talking about the Coinbase IPO and the rumor that maybe Walmart bought some Bitcoin. So to start off, what are your thoughts on the markets? Bitcoin at 60K, ETH at 2150. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty euphoric as always, every single week.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I think everyone's kind of watching the Coinbase IPO, so I'm excited to talk about that later. And I think that the market's getting a lot of attention because of that. And you're seeing other coins that serve a similar function kind of rallying here. So the market is seeing major blockchain project priced by Wall Street. And so now everyone's kind of like, oh, there's tangible value here, and trying to figure out what the value is of some of these other projects.
Yeah, I think Binance and FTX, the other exchange coins, depending on how the IPO does, or it's not like an IPO, it's like a direct listing.
Yeah,
I heard there's a small difference there, but depending on how Coinbase does, I can see those tokens like BNB, FTT,
right,
moving a lot. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of volatility. Yeah, we can go more in depth about the Coinbase direct listing later, but what I've noticed is that XRP and Tron, like the 2017 coins, kept pumping. I think XRP is up like 100% in the past 7 days, and I mean, I'm not an XRP hater. I mean, I would never put $1 in XRP, but is it like that kind of season where it's like the retail are just like buying whatever is cheap in like Cardano, XRP, Tron? I thought that this cycle these coins wouldn't pump, but I guess it's pumping. So I feel like it's alt season. I think Bitcoin dominance has been tanking recently. Not that I put too much weight into that metric, but Bitcoin. I think alts tend to do well when Bitcoin is bullish, but going sideways. That gives alts confidence to rally really, really hard. I think that's what's happening. And I think this year, in 2020, I just bought a lot of Bitcoin and ETH, but this year I'm just buying altcoins just because I think it has more volatility and more upside. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I think Coinbase IPO is going to be big, depending on I think it'll make or break the market in the short term.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts on XRP and Tron?
Yeah, it's interesting because somebody was asking me about Tron the other day, and it's not actually a project I have great understanding of, but the XRP thing I think I have a better grasp on. And Mike Novogratz, that guy. Yeah, he's kind of been pumping XRP, not necessarily pumping, but he's kind of saying either the equity's mispriced, or XRP is extremely undervalued right now. So
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I think that people are starting to trade XRP, and if the SEC drops their investigation, it'd be huge for the project. But I just kind of stay away from XRP and Tron. It's just not really stuff I'm interested in. I think there's a lot of better opportunities out there. I'm sure you could make a lot of money in either project, but just not my forte.
Yeah, it's just a trade. I think, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think long term these projects have that much value, but it's in the short term, people trade it, right? It's oh, okay, it's XRP season. I guess we're all buying that. But hopefully, what I'm hoping for is, traders make a lot of money in XRP and Tron, and they roll those profits into Bitcoin, ETH, and just quality projects. Maybe some retail gets wrecked, but that's how it goes.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm hoping for, because I have some coins that are doing really well, really well, but other coins are just going sideways, and it kind of feels bad when coins that I'm really bullish on is going sideways while XRP is going up 100% in a week.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
I'm just sitting on my hands and just waiting for the pump to come to me, not to chase the pump. But speaking of the pumps, let's first talk about Parsiq, just because it's a project that we both own. I think you entered Parsiq low, like $1.10 or something, like $1.20, something along those levels.
I think I bought Parsiq under $1. Actually, yeah,
That's big.
I actually got in on Parsiq really early, and then when it broke $1, that's when I kind of increased my position to a sizable investment. But I was following along. I want to say I paid 40 to 50 cents for it.
That's really good.
Yeah, and then I saw an interview with the CEO, and someone basically like lost their Parsec. They didn't like they wired it to the wrong wallet or something, and the CEO helped him recover it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen a community this supportive. Even you and I, we're both in the Telegram chat, and like everyone's so pro Parsec. And
yeah, it's not toxic. It's not like, oh, it's pumping.
no, it's very healthy. Yeah, it's very healthy.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone wants the project to do well, and I think it starts at the top. I think the CEOs or the CEO is a great guy, and everyone's starts at the top, and everyone's supporting the project. And I think a Binance listing away from this thing, I easily see it going to $5 by. I don't usually talk price, but I think it goes going to $5 by like the end of the month.
Yeah, I think this thing can easily even like 10x from here.
Sure.
It's not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna happen in a month, but like I think it's severely undervalued. I think the Graph is valued at. I think Graph is one of the most valuable projects in DeFi.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the Google of DeFi, but Parsec takes like real time data, whereas the Graph takes past data, and but both have their strengths and weaknesses. But I think Parsec just has a lot more room to run. I got in around $1.60.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt okay because when I buy things, I just like know that they're undervalued, so I'm just gonna like try to just average my way in.
Sure, I totally have been dollar cost averaging too. Like initial position, like I said, 40 or 50 cents, and then $1.05, I remember, and then $1.65, 70 at the same time. I think we were texting. I was like, oh, this is legit. I probably doubled my position then when I was texting you. So I don't know what my average price paid is, but it's still super bullish, and I think we're so early.
Yeah, and you said it's like over 10% of your portfolio, right? Like 12% or something.
It's like 12%.
That's crazy. I mean, I think you'll be rewarded, but that's a pretty big position.
For me, yeah, I think I hear you in the back of my head sometimes, which is pretty funny. I always hear you saying concentration, so I'm really bullish on this one. But what do you think? Do you want to do an analysis of a project that you brought up that I missed out on, and we'll probably FOMO into eventually?
I mean, it's gone up. Well, it's gone up 100% since I mentioned it, but I still think it's really, really early. So I'm gonna make a video on this in the next day, or even I might record it today. But I made a slide that I'm gonna share. Let's see. Let me just get this ready. So you're literally the first one that's ever gonna see this.
Oh, I'm lucky.
Yeah. You see this?
Yeah. So this is Woo, by the way, and Taiki told me to buy, and I bought Serum instead, and I wish if I had more cash. I'm waiting to get paid.
Yeah, so this is Wootrade. I think of it as liquidity as a service. So this is the agenda. I'll try to go through this faster, just so I don't like spend too much time on it. But yeah, I'll be going over like the liquidity problem. Like they have 3 products, like the dark pool, WooX, Woo Ventures, tokenomics, competitors, and like some summary. But basically the problem is that crypto exchanges, like decentralized and centralized, like lacks deep liquidity. So there are over 500 cryptocurrencies, 500 cryptocurrency exchanges in the market, but this is like only comprised of like $2 trillion worth of assets, right? So if you think about it, like liquidity is fragmented. So if a large institution or like a whale wants to buy a lot of coins in a particular exchange, they might just not get best prices, which is a huge problem. If we're trying to onboard institutions, then that's a pretty big problem. So if you think about exchanges, I feel like each exchange have their own liquidity pool, right? They're not really sharing liquidity. They're just like using what they currently have on their book and letting clients trade with it. But what if like all of the exchanges, centralized and decentralized, can tap into the liquidity from like a single pool with massive liquidity? Wootrade is actually trying to have 40% of all crypto liquidity on their platform. So it'll be a way for exchanges to tap into deep liquidity so that customers and institutions can get better rates for their trades. So that's Wootrade. It's like a dark pool. It's called a dark pool. It also exists in equities, but a pool of liquidity that exchanges can tap into. So Woo is like a company under Kronos. Kronos is a quantitative trading firm, high frequency trading, and they're also a market maker. And they're based in Asia with over 100 employees. I think 65 employees work for Kronos and 35 work for Wootrade. So it's like a legit company. Like it's literally a company. It's not like a project with like, like a bunch of like 10 engineers like trying to solve some random problem. And Kronos, they do a lot of volume. This is on Binance. They did like almost 300,000 Bitcoin worth of volume in 30 days. So like they know what they're doing. They're professionals, and they're constantly like the top 5 traders in terms of volume on FTX.
Wow.
Like, so they're like the big dogs. I think they do on average $1 billion to $2 billion a day. Just market making and high frequency trading. I don't think they hold like Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but they're just like market making. So so Kronos is the parent company. Oh, feel free to interrupt me.
No, sorry. I was just saying that's
sorry.
so cool. You're good.
Yeah, so Kronos, they're the parent company, and they have like 3 branches. First is the dark pool, right, that people can tap into. Second is WooX, which is going to be a retail-facing exchange that'll offer zero-fee trading, so similar to Robinhood. And Woo Ventures, so this is a way for Woo to invest in projects that can provide strategic value, and like whatever money they make from that like can be distributed, like the benefits can be distributed to token holders. So I'll be going over like how like zero-fee trading is possible. And I think a good comparison is like using Robinhood. Like, how does Robinhood offer zero-fee trading? So let's say you want to buy 100 shares of Apple, right, on Robinhood. It kind of goes like this. So you'll put in an order, goes through the broker, which is Robinhood, and Robinhood doesn't like put this trade through like the New York Stock Exchange. They actually go to Citadel, right? They like sell your order flow to Citadel, and Citadel will front run your order and like make like some art of profit and pay Robinhood a small fee, right? And that's how Robinhood can offer free trading. So it's not free per se. It's like you're like paying like a tiny premium because Citadel is like front running it and like taking that profit. But on the surface, like I guess the GameStop saga put like a bad name to both these companies, but that's how it's been done. And this is called payment for order flow. So WooX is really, really similar, but instead of Robinhood and Citadel, it's like WooX is the broker, right, that we can use for zero-fee trading. And the dark pool is like the Citadel, where like market makers can like live in the dark pool and like make those profits. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so far?
That's awesome.
Yes.
Super helpful.
Yeah, so this is the CEO, Mark. He actually worked at Citadel and like traded a lot of money. So I think if a project is trying to solve this kind of problem, like the team has to be like really, really strong, right? So obviously this guy's legit. Like this guy's a pro. The co-CEO, he started trading at age 14 and has over a decade of experience at Deutsche and BNP. And this is the CTO, and he basically created like the derivatives trading and market making system infrastructure. So yeah, these guys are very legit.
Super
They're
smart.
not fucking around.
Yeah,
like they are. Guys. Yeah, so I think with crypto, it's like a bunch of the times it's like a bunch of like young white kids like creating software, or the young Asian kids creating software. But these guys are just like they're professionals.
Right.
So the product will be good.
Yeah.
And I'll go over Woo Ventures. I think this is cool because I know Woo, the token, is supposed to be a governance token in the future. Like right now, it's not. But I always thought it would be cool if like we can vote to like invest in projects, right? Like Uniswap has 5 billion in the treasury. Like why can't like like token holders vote to like invest in projects or like buy projects, right? I think that's a cool idea. So Woo actually invested in Dodo, which is like a exchange on Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum. Yeah, and they do a lot of volume. So what essentially like Woo will invest in the startup, and the startup will vest tokens back to Wootrade, which can be given up to token holders if they do well. Not too sure like how exactly this works, but you know it's a cool concept. And lastly, like token.
Sorry, that almost sounds like an equity, like they're sharing equity with Woo holders. Almost, you get to participate in the equity.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I think a lot of other projects might go this route in the future, as soon as like their treasury hits over 1 billion. But tokenomics, I think this is pretty standard. I think roughly 25% is to the team and advisors. Some went to the private sale, some to the ventures fund, insurance fund, partners, and like rewards, like liquidity mining incentives. So nothing too outlandish. Pretty standard. It's not like half the tokens are with the team. And in terms of incentives to hold a token, so like, okay, this is a complicated chart, but the takeaway here is that like, if you're a market maker or like a high frequency trader that's using the dark pool, you want to buy Woo tokens and stake it to get 0 or negative fees. So that's gonna put upward pressure on the Woo token. So like the more you stake, the better rates you get in terms of like fees.
Yep.
And for people like us, like WooX, the retail side, the beta is launched right now. I think the actual product is supposed to launch this quarter, sometime in Q2. But you can stake your Woo and get better rates. It's like BNB and FTT. It's like you own the token, you get better rates, right? And you can stake it, which is pretty cool. And according to the white paper, like half of the revenue for the platform is going to be used to buy back and burn the token.
Wow.
So this is in February. They burned $300,000 worth of Woo. And as the token price goes up, they'll be able to burn less, which might be like a small issue. But I mean, still, I think it's pretty cool. Like half of the revenue is like literally being bought, buy back, and burn. Pretty cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
So roadmap performance, in February they did over $100 million in daily volume. I think it averages around like 60 million, but one day they did that much. Pretty cool. So yeah, WooX is supposed to launch this quarter. I think it'll be really cool, like zero fee trading. I think you'll be able to margin trade as well for free. I guess the phone app is coming in Q3 as well as futures. And yeah, they're shipping products. I mean, they're a pretty big team, and their ecosystem, like they're under Chronos, and Chronos has like a pretty big incentive to like make this work, right? Just because they're processing lots of volume. But in terms of competitors, I think there's one called Orion. They're pretty big, like 300 mil market cap, 1.5 fully diluted, top 200 token, and they have lots of partners. They're like a liquidity aggregator, so it's like the same thing that Woo is trying to do. And on the surface, it's like, oh wow, like they have a lot of partners. Like, do they have a moat? But if you look at the team, it's like they're nothing compared to like Woo's team. It's like a bunch of like smart people. Like I'm sure they're like smart and I'm sure they're motivated and whatnot. But like you ask me like how do these guys compete with these guys, right? Like, I don't think they have the resources. I don't think like they have the knowledge and like the savviness to like create a dark pool. And like I would rather put my money on Mark, Jack, and Terrence than Alexei, Cal, Timothea, and like Janusz. I mean, I don't mean to throw shade at these guys, but like, yeah, like I'd rather put my money with these boys. I think the biggest competition might be from Binance and Coinbase. Binance like does a third of all crypto volume, which is insane. So Binance is huge. Like Coinbase, they do a lot of volume. So like maybe they can create a dark pool of their own. Like I'm not sure. But that's also a threat. Like because Woo is trying to be like the biggest liquidity pool for exchanges to tap into. But if Binance wanted to get into that business, then maybe CC can say something about it. So yeah, I think that's the end of the. Oh yeah, so like right now Woo, it's at $1, 400 mil market cap, 3 bill fully diluted. But given all the info that I just laid out, I feel like it's got a lot more room to run, and I can see this being like over a $10 billion project. Like. So I'm happy just holding it, and once the WooX staking comes out, I'll stake it, and I might use Woo, instead of Uniswap.
Yeah.
The end. Any questions?
There's one slide that could you go back before the team? I wanted to ask you about
this stuff?
Oh yeah, exactly. What's really interesting that Robinhood does is the spreads are so wide that they'll sell, when you go out and buy stock, they're able to, because the spreads are so wide, able to collect a couple of cents on every trade, and then Citadel will find an order and, like you said, front run. I think that in a broader sense, there's so many projects that are trying to fix liquidity issues on blockchain, and it's really interesting because everyone's trying to solve the liquidity issues, and people are just buying up so much crypto, and it's coming off the exchanges at record levels here.
Yeah.
How decentralized is Woo? Is it pretty decentralized?
Oh, it's not. It's not really decentralized at all. It's under Kronos. It's under.
So is it a SEX then? Like it's a centralized
kind of like
exchange?
a SEX.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a centralized exchange that has like a retail product, which is the the zero fee trading.
Right.
And on the back end, they have the dark pools that they're going to build out.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder what they're going to do with the governance token, if you're going to be able to, like, I think partaking in the equity on the venture side is really cool. Like if you could vote, like you said, as a community and vote for which projects you wanted to invest in, that'd be really cool. But I don't know if they'd do that.
Yeah, I don't like on the surface, or like what I think about it is like I don't really think Woo needs a token. I feel like they can just like build a product and like like it can be like a Robinhood type of product, but I think they just have the token for like marketing purposes. That's what it feels like to me. But that doesn't mean that the token's not going to go up. Like it still has like utility.
Right.
I actually had a phone call with like one of their team members.
Oh, cool.
I wasn't like doing the talking. Like I have a hedge fund friend who like reached out and like he let me in on a call, and that was just like a fly on the wall.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, like the team's legit. I mean, they definitely know what they're talking about. And if I'm ever gonna bet on like this type of business, then it has to be someone. Like a project with like this kind of backing.
Yeah. And then the last slide I think is really interesting, because you said Binance does like a third of all, or second to last slide. All transactions. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with BNB rallying, is people are seeing the Coinbase IPO going out, and they're like, okay, Coinbase is going out at $100 billion valuation. Binance does, I think it's like 5 times as many trades per day or something insane.
Yeah.
And it was trading at a like 40,000, or sorry, it was like 20 or 30 million dollars less market cap. So now BNB's been just taking off. It just broke $500.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And do you want to talk about the Coinbase list IPO now?
Yeah, let's just talk about it because we're on the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, before we talk about that, are you gonna buy Woo?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Woo. I get paid on Friday, so.
Okay. Hopefully it goes to like $1.50. So
yeah, I'm hoping for a pullback. Yeah, I'm hoping for a pullback.
But yeah, Coinbase IPO. There's like rumor that it's gonna like be valued at 100 billion. Like, I'm not really sure if that'll happen, but yeah, I think the markets are going to be volatile leading up to it and after it, depending on how it goes. The one thing I'm worried about is if I feel like everyone expects this to be like a bullish catalyst. I mean, like logically speaking, it kind of like it makes sense for people to think that. But because people are so bullish on it,
I
like
agree.
April 14th, I feel like the upside. So if Coinbase does really well,
Right.
I think the upside is like kind of priced in, right? Like I'm sure it'll pump, but like, I feel like it'll be muted to some extent. But if the direct listing goes like really poorly, I feel like it's going to be like a pretty big downside. So I think the trade is like the upside is capped, but and the downside is like much more. So I'm a little nervous leading up to it. I don't know what your thoughts are. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, do you think it could be like a sell the news kind of event? I think a lot of people, there's so much anticipation. If I was trading short term, I'd try to hedge this week just
Yeah, it
because I
makes
think
sense to hedge.
this is like most anticipated IPO I've ever been a part of. And it's probably because our circle is
Crypto people.
it's crypto. So, but I think it'll be overall good. But I think, like you said, yeah, I could see a sell the news. It could be volatile to the downside. I'm not really worried about it. I do like the price action in BNB, and I think that it's a simple trade. But I'm more interested to see who buys. It'd be interesting to see if some larger institutions file their 13Fs later, and we see that some larger institutions are buying up the Coinbase IPO. A lot of people say, why don't you just buy Bitcoin? So
Yeah,
maybe,
because I mean Coinbase. I mean even as like a crypto bulltard, like their business is pretty cyclical, right? I mean if crypto enters a bear market, I'm sure their numbers will be pretty awful.
Yeah.
So I mean not awful, but like I mean less good because their Q1 numbers were insane. Like I think they did 1.8 billion in revenue in Q1, and in 2020 they did 1.3 or something.
Right.
So in 3 months they made like a lot of money, and I think their profit was like 800 million. Like so their margins are insane. And if you're like an outsider and like if you're like a random institution, even if you're a boomer and like you hate crypto, it's like how can you look at those numbers and be bearish, right? Like maybe yeah, I think it's still possible that Coinbase is undervalued, like even with all this hype. Because if crypto does become like the future of finance, if that meme does come into fruition, then I can see Coinbase being like $500 billion.
Yep.
Right? Because they have a custody solution, they have the wallet, they have staking. I'm sure they'll introduce more products, and yeah, and it also comes to show like how Binance is undervalued. Maybe like if Binance ever goes public, they're going to be like crazy, right?
I don't think they ever will because maybe Binance.us, but with the whole regulations.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about buying BNB and the March crash?
Yeah. So March crash last year, market bottom. The only thing I bought was BNB, and I own some BNB, and it went down to $10, and I was like, wow, this looks really cheap. And I actually think I sold either some Bitcoin, which is crazy. I don't think I've ever sold Bitcoin, or some other coin. And I was putting it into BNB, and I only bought like a couple $100, which is really sad. So it went up, 50x from there. So it's cool because I bought some, but yeah, it's one of those stories that always kind of like be happy and
The what
sad
if,
about.
right? The what if.
Yeah. I think it's more interesting is that there's a rumor that you told me earlier, Walmart's buying up Bitcoin, maybe.
Oh yeah, I saw like a tweet by like some old Indian guy.
Yeah.
Who's apparently very reputable.
Right.
And he said, like you heard it from me first, folks. Walmart is buying up Bitcoin, and when they when they report their quarter in May, like you'll see it. And I think that'll be insane. I mean, this guy could be trolling,
Right.
but if that actually happens, if Walmart
Yeah.
bought like a $1 billion of Bitcoin, I feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the blow off top. It might just
Yeah.
start the blow off top. It's like, holy shit, it's happening. The
Yeah.
Walmart, the boomer company, is buying Bitcoin. That would be crazy. I think like that kind of news alone can take it to 6 figures, because Walmart buying is like so much different than like Michael Saylor
Right.
and Elon buying. It's like
Right.
totally different. It's like the type of person. Because if Walmart buys, then it just indicates that other corporates are probably buying as well. Because if a conservative company like Walmart, I mean, a conservative in a relative sense, like they're doing lots of good things, but like that can just like it can lead to this, like the
There
Bitcoin
we
can go
go.
to the moon. I'm wearing this shirt because it's gonna happen. I just don't know when. But.
Yeah, I'll wear my Bitcoin shirt tomorrow. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, do you have anything to talk about? Like, I want to talk about Solana, but is there anything else?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, like, I knew about Binance Smart Chain like around January, I think. I feel like I texted you. It's like, oh, look at Binance Smart Chain. It's like popping, but I didn't really get involved in it because just because I was like doing other things, and I was just like focused on the ETH blockchain, and like I just thought it'll die off at some point, but obviously it hasn't, and I've definitely left a lot of chips on the table. And even though I know I'm not too late on BSC, I feel like the upside is relatively limited from here. So I feel like if I want to, quote unquote, gamble on a new layer one, I feel like it'll be on the Solana ecosystem. Because what Binance Smart Chain taught me was to bet on people. It's like, I should have bet on CZ. So maybe it's time for me to bet on Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF. Just because like that guy's really smart. He's spending a lot of money in marketing, and I feel like he's gonna will Solana into existence. So have you made any moves on Solana?
Definitely watching it. I would like to add to it as well. I have Serum, which is built on top of Solana, but I'm gonna add Woo and Solana. I think that's my next two.
So just so we're on the same page, like Solana is like the gas token, right? It's like ETH and BNB on like each layer one, right? It's like you need Solana to use the blockchain.
Exactly.
Except that Solana is like less than a penny to transact.
Yeah, it has a totally different method. It doesn't, obviously ETH uses sharding, and I'm blanking on the method in which they use, but it's extremely secure. The problem with sharding is that it opens a risk vector potentially. If you're able to hack one of the smaller transactions, you can essentially maybe hack the whole block. That's what people are worried about. But Solana, in my opinion, looks the most prime for development. If I was a developer and I was looking to build, I would go right into Solana because they're scalable and ready to go, whereas ETH is trying to kind of fix itself on the fly here.
Yeah. ETH seems to be falling behind, and if you told me at the beginning of the year that BNB might flip ETH, I probably would have punched you in the face. But now I believe it. It could happen. Imagine what would happen to like crypto Twitter and the ETH maxis if like BNB overtakes ETH as the second most valuable crypto. Like,
yeah, I think it could. That's actually crazy, but I think it could.
Yeah, definitely could. And the Serum is like, it's like a exchange, right? Built on Solana.
Yeah, Serum is a derivatives exchange. Yeah, it's just for derivatives solely, but it's decentralized. So the idea for that trade is that people don't know, but the derivatives market is enormous in equities. Like, people have no idea how big the derivatives market is. And so in my opinion, this derivatives market in crypto could be huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of my play.
Yeah. So me already, like I have a friend who's like full-time crypto, and he said like, or he's speculating that SBF, he's gonna just airdrop a bunch of tokens on Solana, just so he can like get like money on the platform and get people to use it and grow interest. So I've used a bunch of Solana apps. Like I just put $100 on there, and I just like interacted with all the apps. So if I ever get an airdrop, then that could be worth 4
Yeah,
or 5 figures.
I got my first spam attack or whatever phishing attack yesterday on
Oh, really?
on Discord. A bunch of people were messaging, a bunch of protocols that were messaging me, and it was, Uniswap reached out to me for an airdrop that I could partake in, and I didn't click on it, but
Yeah, there's a lot of phishing. I got a bunch on Discord. I got one from Twitter.
Yeah.
It's really like sophisticated because I think I followed like a Twitter account called Pish or something. I think they're on Solana, and I think there's like a scam bot that detected that I followed Pish, and like another Twitter account called like Pish Network.
Whoa.
Right. DM me saying, "Hey, like here's an airdrop. You just have to like click on this link and like
log into your MetaMask
or something like that." It's like, holy shit! Like these guys are getting really sophisticated. I kind of fell for that. Like I double checked the Twitter account to see that it's real, but they had like 0 followers.
Yeah.
So it looked identical on the surface, but you gotta watch out for that. But the Cope. Do you know the Cope airdrop?
Mm-mm.
So Cope is like one of the projects that airdropped on Solana, and that airdrop is worth 11K right now.
Oof.
Yeah, so
that's insane.
So I suggest that you like create a Solana wallet and just like deposit like $20 and just like trade.
Yeah.
Just interact. And
do you know Mirror Protocol? I got airdropped a bunch of Mirror and I sold it all.
Oh, and that's
super.
yeah. The Luna ecosystem is also good. Yeah, I think my mistake in Q1 of this year was like I think I focused too much on ETH, like that ecosystem. I mean, I made a lot of money. I'm like not mad, but I feel like I missed out on a lot of gains if I just like was open-minded. So definitely do not want to miss the Solana run. I feel like people are like pricing in that Solana is going to be really big. Like Solana token, Solana, like there's not that much being built on yet, but it's like almost pumping every single day. I feel like people are just speculating
it's coming.
That
yeah,
it's coming. So, I feel like I'll also speculate because, I missed out on BSC. So let's run it up on Solana. Maybe that's where my edge is.
I'm looking now, it's up 11%. Solana's up 11%.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah, my computer's about to die. I forgot a charger.
Okay, well, I guess we'll end it there. I think it was a pretty good conversation. Bullish crypto. I guess you're gonna buy Woo. You're gonna pump my bags.
I'm gonna pump your bags.
And I'll pump your bags with Solana and Serum. Yeah. And Parsiq to the moon. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. If you want us to talk about any particular topics in the next episode, please let us know in the comment description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.